All right, the question you just asked me is how important is experience in Judaism? Well, there's a Gemara in Kedushin, and it says that there's a commandment that you have to stand up in front of an old person. It says that you have to stand up even in front of an old non-Jew, even a person that has not learned Torah. Because usually it means you have to stand up in front of an old person. Who is an old person? One who has acquired wisdom. And usually wisdom is referring to Torah. So it says in this Gemara, no, it doesn't mean wisdom. It says wisdom can be acquired also through experience. That's why you have to stand up for an old person, because they have harpat ka'ot, they have experience. Experience is holy. Experience teaches you things that you can never learn from books. In the Tanya Perek Mem Beis, it says that a person has to be attached to God, and not just what he learns from books and from authors of books, but also what he learns from his own deep thinking, his own experiences in the world. I read by it was the Baal Shem Tov that said, or the first Rebbe of Chabad, but he said, we say this in the prayers of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. We say it also every night in our what's called Kriya Shema that we say before we go to sleep, is Ata Yodea Razei Olam. God, you know the secrets of the world. And the Baal Shem Tov said the secrets of the world are deeper than the secrets of the Torah. Because in the world, there's a thing which is called God's intervention. Hashgacha pratit, divine intervention. I don't think there's really, I've never heard exactly a translation that really sort of encompasses what the meaning is. But essentially what it means is that because everything in the world is directed by God, nothing happens by accident. And everything happens intentionally. God doesn't do things accidentally. Everything has a purpose to it. So anything that we come across and anything we notice, we can learn a lesson from. The more lessons that you learn, the more amazing and the more, love you have for the Creator. Also, the more awe and the more fear. You realize how incomprehensible that God is. And eventually you start to realize how good God is. You can see the work of God. Ma rabu masecha, ma godlu masecha. The Psalms of King David are filled with such things. Now, even though King David had a lot of trouble in his life, but nevertheless, still he realized that it was all somehow or other for his good, or for the good of the world, or it was for to clean him of his past iniquities, if you want to call it that. It says that King David never sinned, but his faults are to raise him to a higher level. Whatever it is, but nevertheless, Abraham, for instance, suffered terribly, and he was happy. And even to the point where God told him to take his son, that's all he lived for, was just his son. And that he should spread out Judaism and to take him to sacrifice him. And Abraham was tremendously happy because he realized that this was a level of godliness that he had not recognized before. And that God was telling him to do something really amazing. Now, it wasn't taking his son to kill him. He was happy to sacrifice his son because it was going to bring him, Abraham, to a higher level. If so, that makes him into a monster, an egotist. For my own spiritual benefits, I'm willing to, God forbid, to kill somebody else. No, but what it did mean is that he realized that God is good, and that somehow or other this would be for the benefit of all mankind. It would be for his benefit also. So experience is something that cannot be exchanged. And as I've told the story before, and I'll tell it again a lot of times, the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, that he was put into prison, and he was sentenced to death, and just miraculously he got out, and he was beaten, and he was tortured, and it was terrible. There. As when he got out, he said, if you would give me all the money in the world, I wouldn't go back there even for a second. But if you gave me all the money in the world, I would not relinquish 1 minute of the experience that I had. Because experience is holy, and what holy means is that it takes you out of your own selfish dimensions where you're the controller and you're the creator, and it puts you into the world of truth, where really there is God, and God is infinitely more real and infinitely more good than we can possibly imagine. And somehow or other we attach to this infinite good. And that's going to be eventually the idea of the raising of the dead. that we're going to see that our lives don't belong to us at all, that there's something amazing and eternal and incomprehensibly wonderful and good and a gift that's unbelievable, and this will be experienced. This will be the ultimate experience. So experience is holy.